All right, so hello everybody. Most of you want to know what the month of December is going to hold as far as snow and cold, or is it going to be a torch? Well, December is actually going to be starting off pretty dramatic at the very beginning of it. I am Carolina Weather Authority meteorologist Mike Griffith here, alongside with Josh Nagelberg, who also runs the YouTube page here and makes some posts over on the page. So make sure, if you haven't already, head over to our Carolina Weather Authority Facebook page and make sure that you give us a like if you're seeing this on YouTube. So let's get down to the what we're expecting to begin December. As many of you know, there's going to be a storm system coming up out of Texas and across the southern U.S. And this is looking at Sunday night into early Monday, when there could be some severe storms down here across the coastal southeast. In fact, there's already a marginal risk up by the SPC that is showing a severe threat. So this is going to be on Sunday night into Monday. And then there's some cold air really rushes in behind this. The 540 line is all the way down into Georgia and South Carolina. This is the line where it's cold enough to snow, actually. So it looks like the flakes are going to be flying in the mountains and also parts of Tennessee up into the Ohio Valley. And snow totals up in Ohio could be a little bit on the, maybe on the moderate side. Don't want to say too hefty. The big story behind this exiting storm system is going to be the cold as we head into December 1st and 2nd. And many lows down here in the Carolinas on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be in the 20s and 30s and in the 30s along the coast here as we continue to progress into next week. Here's another disturbance coming out of the Gulf Coast as we head into Friday and Saturday of next week. This could be interesting. Especially if it gets its act together and it phases with this other upper level low next weekend. This could be kind of an interesting setup that maybe the GFS isn't totally seeing this quite come together quite yet. But we're going to have to watch for the trends on this as we go into December 5th and 6th in the next week. More cold air gets drawn in behind that as we head into Sunday of next week. And then it looks like our temperatures maybe remain kind of on the chilly side, but then could start to rebound a little bit. But then another cold shot comes down out of Canada around the 11th or so. But this is our 336. So as the GFS goes out to this time frame, I mean, it's pretty much anybody's guess. But the whole takeaway story is that this is going to be an active start to December once we flip the calendar over to December 1st from November 30th. Right here's the European snow totals, and we're looking at the Monday heading into Tuesday as the mountains in the Carolinas start to pick up some accumulating snow, eastern Tennessee as well as the Ohio Valley. And it looks like the panhandle of Texas is going to be seeing some snowflakes as we head out throughout the day here on Saturday, or some sleet possibly. But then as we head into December, the Ohio Valley has their snowstorm. The snow tracks, the storm tracks just remain active into the 3rd or so. And then there's something else that comes through the Ohio Valley right around the 4th into the 5th, this coming Friday into Saturday. Another Ohio Valley snowstorm looks like it occurs, and then kind of pushes up into Pennsylvania and then up into Canada. So that's what we are seeing as far as the overall snow situation for the month of, or for the beginning of December. Let's take a look at some of the overall trends in teleconnections. And I have to give some really good props to a brother page of mine, Pennsylvania Weather Action. If you're on YouTube, go look at Weather Action. That's Pennsylvania Weather Action. And teleconnections matter more than a specific model does. So let's see, where's our teleconnect? So for any type of blocking and sustained cold in the eastern United States, you want the Arctic Oscillation, or AO index. This is the one index that you might be able to look at by itself with no other indices to determine if it's going to be a cold East Coast outbreak and it's going to be sustainable. You want this to be really deeply negative for any type of East Coast storms and East cold sustainable cold outbreaks. The European ensemble is showing that much of the mean for this track is going to be negative, which is good, into the 5th, 6th, 7th of December or so. Then it goes neutral around the 8th or so, and even into the positive range as we go into the 10th and then the 11th. So that is not, I mean, unless we can keep it like really negative, that's not a good signal for snow and cold as we go into the middle of this month or any time after the 5th and 6th. It looks like the AO flattens out. So that's not really a good sign for any type of snow and cold, again, after the 5th and 6th or so of December. Let's take a look at the GFS ensemble. Again, with the AO, the Arctic Oscillation, this is negative for quite some time in the 10th, 11th or so. Stays negative, but not real deeply negative. So it's just barely favorable enough for maybe average temperatures or so into the 11th and 12th or so of December, and then it starts to go positive. So anytime after the 13th in the mid-month, it looks like we could torch here again in the eastern part of the United States. So the first half of the month might be active with storm tracks cutting up to the Appalachians and also maybe some coastal lows across the southeast, but then as we go into the middle of the month, the teleconnections start to fade and go more into a positive phase as we're seeing it could be seeing some average back to warmer temperatures and even maybe a torch into the 14th and 15th or so of December. So not the greatest news. The EPO, let's go over to the European, since this is unfortunately a more accurate model than the GFS at times. The EPO is what you want to be really negative. You want it to tank in order to get any type of East Coast snow and cold. And this is really the 5th and 6th looks like it's the only favorable phase, and after that it stays positive. So anytime after the first week or two of December, it looks like even this goes into an unfavorable teleconnection for any type of snow and cold. The NAO, you want this to be negative. Okay, yes, the ensemble mean is going to be negative all the way up through the 9th or 10th or so, but then again, it goes neutral around the 10th or so, and then into the positive range around the 10th or 11th or so. So again, after the 10th or 11th, not really that favorable. The PNA is what you want to be very positive, and of course we're going to have that as we start December. Snow and cold chances are going to be higher when this is more positive. Again, you can't go by this teleconnection by itself. The AO is one of the ones that I think that you can go off of it by itself. But for this, it's looking like it's going to remain positive all the way into the 9th or so, which is favorable. But then maybe we start to see more average temperatures around the 9th and 10th, and then it goes negative, which means a trough in the West Coast. And if there's a trough in the West Coast, you know what that means for the East Coast? It means ridge. And that southeast ridge could come back anytime after the 10th or 11th of December or so. Maybe into Christmas. There's no telling what's going to happen. But the first half of the month is looking favorable for cold and maybe some snow for the mountains, Ohio Valley. And then after that, it looks like we go back to normal for this time of year for December, mid-December. And then things start to warm up once again according to our teleconnections. Anyway, if you stayed with us for the entire length of this video, thank you so much. Be sure to share this with your family and friends, and also please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Carolina Weather Authority. That's all for now. Josh Nagelberg will have the next update for you, so watch out for his video. I am meteorologist Mike Griffith for Carolina Weather Authority. Everybody have a great weekend.